And by friendly confines, I mean it is friendly, as before the game, we actually had the fire alarm go off in the building, and well, all the players had to go outside and freeze. They were in their shorts, they were in their warm-up shirts. Greg Campbell alongside Steve Baxter. I mean, Steve, you got here a couple minutes before tip-off. It was cold outside. You got a feel for the players that had those shorts on.
Oh, man, it is crazy, and I feel there was a bunch of people standing outside, too, that weren't even part of the basketball game, and they seemed really, really cold. I really feel sorry for those guys. And we still even have the lights flashing around the gym because of the fire alarm.
Now, the Mountaineers coming off a 64-60 victory last evening. Beth Minnelly leading the way with a team-high 20 points. As well, Sam Pockernick had a quiet game, but for head coach Kevin Duffy, well, he said it's scoring by committee, and he's seen the emergence of younger players in the lineup. And for this team, well, they got to see what they're going to do this evening, as it is the game of back-to-backs. The Sioux, a 7.5-hour bus drive just to get into Hamilton.
Goodness.
And obviously it doesn't help when you have to be sitting out in the cold after that as well.
Definitely not. And is that a 7.5-hour bus ride with or without the snow?
I think it's without the snow. You got to take that in. You got to take the stops for the restroom, the restaurants.
Man.
And I mean, the fact that they're playing back-to-back here is something you don't see as common in the OCAA. You'll see that a lot in the OUA when teams from Lakehead travel in. They'll do double headers. But we don't see that as often here in the OCAA. But again, the women's team coming off a victory, as is the men's team. And while we're figuring out the flashing lights right now, I mean, you got to see, you've seen a couple games this year. Sam Pockernick has been a one-man scoring machine for Kevin Duffy.
She is definitely the one to watch. The last game that I did back in December, she absolutely ripped the basketball game. She had something around like 17 points, 5 rebounds, give or take like that. And she's definitely the one that the team is going to have to almost depend on to try to get him some points.
Now, Sam Pockernick came into this game this afternoon averaging just under 18 points per game, shooting 41% from the field, almost 80% from the line, and 4.2 rebounds a game. Beth Minnelly, who had led the team in scoring yesterday, well, she only averages 7.7 points per game, but she's good for 8.2 rebounds a game, as well as nearly 3 assists. So it was a 1-2 scoring punch yesterday afternoon. And well, for the Sioux, it's been quite a quiet year, to say the least. A perfect record, but not in the way you want it. 0-11 coming into today's contest.
Oh, no.
So they're still looking for that elusive first win in the 2018-19 campaign, the first win of 2019, and we'll see what we got going on this afternoon.
Well, and instead of a new year, new me, it should new year, new me. It's new year, new team, new record.
And hopefully it evens out to 1-1. So they've got the flashing lights done. We've got Stacey Newbigging, Mike Curry, and Joval Villa taking us through today's action as the officials.
And we are about to tip off here in this not so fun Saturday afternoon.
A little cold never hurt nobody. It's Canada. We finally had winter, folks. That's all I'm going to say.
And we have the tip as Sioux College gets the first possession here. Swinging the ball around, try to get it in the post, and almost a steal by Sam Pockernick.
Yeah, Pockernick just lost her footing on the line there. Wasn't really aware of the situation, but again, something early on Kevin Duffy was talking about was creating a lot of pressure defensively. We'll see how they do.
Oh, defense is going to be a huge part in this game. As they defended that shot very well, Sam Pockernick bringing the ball up now. Oh, and what a drive on the baseline.
Otong with the putback and in. So Didi Otong getting in on the action there, a strong take. And yesterday we saw a lot of that baseline action, and we're going to see a lot of it more this afternoon. We got a foul there.
A blocking call on number 23, Haley Davis.
So right now, inbounding the ball, Cassie Saborin, who led the team in scoring last evening in their contest, a narrow 4-point defeat. Can they flip the script this afternoon? Well, we got about 39 minutes to find out. And again, over and back there, something you don't want to see from a team that has a perfect record in the wrong way, and it's mental errors like that that you never want to see.
Yeah, when you're trying to get a win, especially when you're 0-11, those are just not the mistakes that you want to have. Turnovers on inbound passes, you just can't have that. So Mohawk swinging the ball around now. And a Zinkowicz.
So again, a shot clock violation, not time awareness from Kevin Duffy and his squad. Yes, they're a young squad, but with a veteran like Pokranik commanding the offense, you don't want to see those mistakes happen. And for a young team in a close possession, well, Kevin Duffy was saying that yesterday every possession mattered and that they got to be more opportune on their offensive possessions. And you've seen that, a couple early turnovers here and a foul on the floor.
Didi Otung. Didi Otung with the foul on Emma Fillion. Now she's going to the line for 2 shots.
So Fillion will head to the line for 2.
And she misses the first one. That was really, really good defense by Didi Otung there.
So 5.6 points she averages a game, shoots 44% from the line, 27% from the field.
Emma Fillion misses the second one as well, and Didi Otung with the rebound, bringing the ball up herself. Passes it over to Pokranik. Back to Otung. Over to Minelli. And a strong drive by Hannah Zinkowicz.
Zinkowicz just a little too strong on that take, got the inside step on that Euro step, but not enough cushion on the shot.
And a 3 put up by Kaylee Hanush.
Hanush averaging just 4 points per game, 60% from the free throw line. Only shoots 30%, just below 30% for the 3-point line, but she's almost got her season average on that one shot alone.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you want. You want to get off to a hot start. Pokranik going baseline, dishes it off to Otung, shoots a baseline 3, and hits nothing but air on that one. Mercedes Ryan bringing the ball up now for the Cougars. Pass over to Emma Fillion. Looks for a pass into the post, but no one ended up being there.
Yeah, so just a little miscommunication on that high-low there. Just now, she's not Rob Gronkowski or Yao Ming in the post there. No one too tall there. I mean, they don't have a 6'7" player in the post there. So it's just a lack of communication. And again, it's the simple little things, it's consistency that's going to make the difference over the course of this game.
Exactly. Hannah Zinkowicz up at the 3, and she shoots the 3. Can't quite make it. Offensive rebound by Hannah Zinkowicz. And the rebound is finally collected by the Cougars as they fast break down the court. Pass over to Mackenzie Mazuka, and she just cannot hit that, but the ball remains Cougars' ball.
So we're going to get the first substitution of this afternoon's contest. Alex Parente is going to check into the game. Otung is out, as is Emily Chapinier for Zinkowicz. And I was talking to Kevin Duffy before the game. He said, no, Chapinier only played 9 minutes in yesterday's contest. 8 rebounds, though, in those 9 minutes. Those are extra possessions if you think about it over the course of the game. And he said it's something like that that is going to be key down the stretch.
And something to think about, too. If she ended up playing 18 to 20 minutes, she was on pace for something around 16 or 17 rebounds with around 17 points. So when you have a player on a pace for that with limited minutes, that's something you really want to see.
Ryan getting bullied a little bit by Pokranik here.
6 seconds left on the shot clock. Let's see if they can get a nice clean look off. A 3 put up by Cassie Sporin, and she nails that shot.
She only shoots 14% from beyond the arc, but so far 2 deep threes, well, 1 deep 3 and a 3-point lead for the Sioux. 5-2 they lead.
Bockernick.
Chapinier's got to watch her footing there.
Perante drive in, and she dished it out.
And that was beautiful. Davis drives right into the middle of the free throw line, has two defenders' eyes looking at her, and while Parente's just sitting in the corner there, and that's nothing but net. An easy look if you're Alex
an
Parente.
easy look, especially as soon as you're getting doubled, you have to look for your open man. You know there's somebody open.
Well, she baited her into that shot. Again, Chapinier, 2 rebounds, and she's only played about 2 minutes here, so we're already seeing the effect Kevin Duffy was talking about from yesterday.
Perante puts up a 3. Can't quite make that one. Gets the offensive rebound, and Pockernick drills that 3 from the elbow.
Yeah, Pockernick a quiet 16 yesterday, but again, comes in the team's leading scorer, nearly 10 points per game more as she coast to coast, 2-on-1, calls her own number.
And she strips Cassie Sabor and goes in for the easy, wide open layup.
So you're seeing this full court press right now being picked up by the Mountaineers. It's something that the Cougars had a lot of trouble. Oh, I thought that was a double dribble there.
That could have been called. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Brianna Baker goes up for the layup, and she can't hit the and one, but she is going to the line for 2 shots.
And that's traditional, tough, big man post basketball. You see Baker right there. She was bullying some players around from the Mountaineers yesterday. And while she's by that free throw line, squares up the ball there. She says, you know what, Emily Chapinier, I'm going to go right at you and test you here early on. And what she gets her first trip to the charity stripe.
Now she is at the line for 2 shots. Let's see if she can make her first one. And she does with the generous roll.
So Baker, the 4th team leading scorer, only starting 4 of the 8 games she's played this year, a 50% free throw shooter, averaging just under 6 a game. And those numbers are true to form on that second shot.
Pockernick fighting hard for the offensive rebound, can't quite pick it up. And what an offensive rebound and putback by Mercedes Ryan.
Mercedes Ryan is a little bit of everything. You want to equate her to an NBA player. She's like Russell Westbrook. She just fills up the stat sheet. She averages a double-double, 10 points per game, 10.4 rebounds a game, 3.5 assists a game. I mean, she is all over the court.
And that's something you want with your players, is players that are all around, that can do everything. Mercedes Ryan bring the ball up. Almost got trapped at the half-court line. Wide open 3 put up by Mackenzie Mazuka, and she can't quite hit that.
So that's her second open look on, again, both on the right side on those shot opportunities. But getting back to Mercedes Ryan, I mean, the one key thing, she commits 8 turnovers a game. And what happened in yesterday's contest, we saw the Mountaineers forcing a lot of that double action because they know she doesn't use her left hand as often. But when I talked to Gary Cormier before the game, he said she's been normally a 2 or 3 position player for most of her life, but she kind of just got thrusted into the point guard role by necessity on this team. So, I mean, she's learning on the fly, but, I mean, you can see the impact she has early on. She's all over the place.
Yeah, and over time, as she gets more experience with her new position, she will start committing less and less turnovers.
There's a steal by Parente.
And that was just a careless pass put up by Cassie Saborin.
But she's going to get bailed out because the referees are saying she had possession right by the sideline there and then stepped out of bounds. So ends up working out for the Cougars, I guess.
They'll take it. Anything that goes your way, you're going to take it every single time.
Yeah, you need that when you're 0-11.
Mercedes Ryan.
So again, you're seeing this defensive high front put on by the Mountaineers there. They're saying, well, beat us with your first step. And so far, they're controlling it. But we are not at an 8 apiece here, and we're having a similar start to this game as we did yesterday.
And it seems like the Mountaineers are almost forcing the Cougars to try to pitch it and make them do some post play. And every time the Cougars are passing the ball in down low, it's just getting stolen. It's like they're baiting them into that pass down low.
Now Jamie Goit with the open jumper there, and again, quietly averaging just 2 points a game, so she's already matched her season average as we got a foul on Parente on the floor. But you're seeing, again, the ball movement as we're going to get a timeout on the floor. So Gary Cormier is going to call his first timeout of today's contest. So partner, we've seen about we'll say we've got 3.5 left here in the first queue. I mean, give me an assessment what you've seen from these two teams so far.
Well, it seems pretty even so far. Teams are getting, seems like the shots they want. There's been a lot of wide open shots by both teams, but they just can't quite hit. Some threes that were hit early on, but as the quarter has gone on, they have just gone cold a little bit there.
The Mountaineers, only 2 wins on the season, 2-9 to be exact, and one of those victories, of course, having been yesterday's 64-60 victory. But we're also seeing if you want to get in on the action, use the hashtag Mountaineer Strong to help fight causes. And what we saw yesterday, a lot of the players were wearing T-shirts that said, "My mind matters." And if we can get a shot of those white T-shirts, there you go. You can see it on the bench there. It's all part of mental health services and the campaign they are running. We know January is about Bell Let's Talk and Mental Health Month, and well, the Mohawk Mountaineers are doing their part here. So we'll see what Gary Cormier has drawn up out of the timeout here.
Cougar basketball. We have Mercedes Ryan dishing it over to Alexandra Cooper, and stripped again by Pockernick. And she definitely has around 2 or 3 steals already early in this game.
And Pockernick just feisty little hands defensively. And, you know, as soon as you put that ball down as a defender, well, you're asking for a steal in that situation.
And Jamie Goit tries to give the cross-court pass to Pockernick, and it gets deflected by the Cougars. Mountaineers basketball, throwing it in from the sideline. Trying to look for the pass for Pockernick, and what a hustle play. What a hustle play by Mercedes Ryan. She can't quite finish that layup. She gets the offensive rebound, though, gets fouled, and she's going to the line for 2 shots.
So what happens there is that the Mountaineers are just being very showing in what they're doing on their offensive sense. Sam Pockernick doesn't come over aggressively to the ball in that situation. And well, Mercedes Ryans gets the jump on that like a defensive back. She gets that tip pass, and then it's just a little battle of inside hip position on that play. Ryan ends up winning the battle, not that free throw attempt. But again, she gets Pockernick to the ground, and she kind of did like a little Euro step there on that open layup. I'm not sure if you noticed that on that shot, but she goes 0 of 2, so the Mountaineers catch a break, and looks like they've got a violation on the Mountaineers. So Ryan will get a 3rd attempt.
Wow, and you don't see that too often, people getting violations on free throws. So, and she cannot capitalize on it.
So Zinkwich with a great box out there, gets the inside position, gets over Parente in transition.
Oh, and can't quite hit that fast break layup. Pockernick trying to throw a cross-court pass. It ended up going to Manelli instead.
So again, Minelli just dictating where the offense is going. Her eyes are staring down Alex Parente, and while there's a jump on the play by Autumn Hay-Barrerial, the 4th-year guard out the Sioux. And again, they gotta move defenders with their eyes, or that ball's gotta be in and out of their hands within 2 or 3 seconds. And they got 3 on the shot clock to get it done.
And Parente puts up a running layup. So gets deflected, and there is a shot clock violation, so the Cougars will receive the basketball at their own baseline.
Yeah, but they're going to have to be careful here. Now, we saw them hit the home run ball a couple times last evening, but the Mountaineers keeping everything in front of them right now. I'm sure that's an adjustment Kevin Duffy made after last night's game.
Cassie Saborin bringing the ball up, and she dishes it off to Mercedes Ryan. Mercedes Ryan goes in for the tough layup and just can't quite make it. Offensive rebound by number 12, Cassidy Saborin, and there is a foul on the play.
So Saborin, again, has the second chance opportunity. They're just checking right now. No foul on the floor. Ryan hits the ground a little hard. But you can see the way that she is just able to split defenders. Mercedes Ryan, her first step is lethal. And I mean, the Mountaineers, despite the turnover there, haven't figured out that Euro step.
Oh. And Parente going in and going the whole length of the court herself. Gets fouled on the play, and now she's going to the line for 2 shots.
So interesting call there, because both Cougar defenders on that play kind of looking at the referee, asking who created the contact, because both are saying they were standing vertical as Haber Ariel is going to step off the court. And a timeout on the floor for Kevin Duffy and his squad, who currently lead by 2 with 2:10 left here in the first Q. So similar start as we've seen yesterday, and well, for Kevin Duffy and his squad, as I mentioned, some of the keys to his game for his team, they are talking about better press positioning in their full court press, and that's courtesy of those deep balls that the Sioux were able to hit yesterday. He also said they had to be more aggressive offensively, and they had to attack the lane. And that's something we haven't seen a lot of here early on. It goes with killer instinct. I mean, if you're passive-aggressive offensively, then again, we're seeing these tipped passes on the perimeter and on the wing right now. And outside of a couple early jumpers in the corner, we've seen the Mountaineers' offense kind of stall here a little in the later stages of the first.
And again, on that aggressive offensively attack, we have seen the Mountaineers drive this entire game and going to the free throw line.
And that seems to be one way. That's the one thing. If you can't get the shots you want anywhere on the court, well, what's the easy way to get a shooter's confidence up, or a team? Just drive to the lane.
Mohawk is also on a 1-game win streak, and they the last time they played against the Cougars, they won.
That was yesterday.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Yeah, so it was back-to-back, a 4-point victory for the Cougars.
And they're hoping to keep up the streak during this game.
Yeah, it'd be an empty trip to Hamilton, to say the least, if you drive 8 hours, drop 2 contests, have to stand in the snow for a little, have a fire alarm.
As Perronte hits that free throw.
And she's going to be rewarded with a trip to the bench. So coming in for the game, Kayla Kalura makes her first appearance, 5'5" guard out of St. Jean de Brebeuf. They say Grimsby, but I'm pretty sure that's Hamilton, Ontario. So gonna be careful. There's a double.
And a wide open 3 put up by Hey Bahara. Mercedes passes it over. Oh, and almost another steal by Parkernick.
She's going to get the foul on that play, though. She gets the inside position on reading that cross-court pass from Autumn Haber Ariel, who is intended for. And well, with that inside position, I mean, she has no choice but to reach. And Parkernick exploring that right knee brace, well, she seems to be doing okay. Again, telegraphing the passes. Again, another tipped opportunity, and the Cougars almost come up with it.
Well, pass to the corner.
There you go.
To Beth Manelli, who hits the shot. Seemed like it was a 3, but the referees are going to call it a 2. Her foot was on the line.
Yeah, just inside the line there, and coming off a solid game yesterday, and she continuing that here in the early stages of this afternoon.
And a careless pass thrown into the post by Autumn Hay Bahariel as Pockernick brings it up. Let's see if they can keep this aggressiveness up. Pockernick setting a play up at the top. Hard crossover. Passes it in the corner to Kalura. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and that is just turnover.
So again, just not quick enough in the ball movement there. Late stages of the shot clock, they forced a look they didn't want off the front rim there for the Cougars. But a good job by Anna Zinkiewicz there.
And that is some muscle put on by Zinkiewicz, just ripping that ball away.
Almost got her own number the other way too. So 8 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Theoretically, the Mountaineers should have the last possession.
And Mercedes Ryan puts up a nice layup. She got right in there, but just couldn't quite hit it.
Again, that Euro step causing a lot of problems right now for the Mountaineers.
Looking into the post. Tough shot there.
And we're going to have, it's going to favor the Mountaineers. The Mountaineers will have the last possession. So how that play is set up is something they found very successful yesterday. It was that high-low post. They dump it into Baker on the play. And what happens is Beth Minnelly is on the weak side helping out in that situation. What she does is she times that so that soon as Baker has that ball and sweeps to turn to face the net, well, Minnelly is right there. And while she doesn't have that open shot she wants, a much tougher take, a turnover. And I'm not sure what the call is on the floor. So we're talking about, I think it's the game clock. So just beautiful defensive awareness by Beth Minnelly on that play, waiting for that pass to happen and sliding into perfect defensive position. We'll see if Pockernick can get it done to end the first cue.
7 seconds left. Pakernik with the ball at the top. Let's see if she's going to go by herself, and she does. Puts up a nice layup and just can't quite hit it. They're going to call out of bounds. So it will be Mountaineers basketball with 0.6 seconds on the clock.
So look for a diversion and something quick underneath, and they're going to look to that pocket corner. They're stacking 4 high. Good defensive rotation.
Watch for someone cutting right toward the rim. Pakernik was there, and she looked off Pakernik, just tried to play it safe, but ended up throwing it into the crowd. And that is the end of the first.
The Mountaineers up by 6, 14-8. They lead after 6 minutes. And you see on that last second chance opportunity with 0.6. So what they're trying to do there is that first look is Pakernik, and they're trying to divert the defender's eyes in that situation. Now what they've done is when they set up that screen for Pakernik, they're trying to free up Hannah Zinkwich, who was looking to turn, but she was triple teamed in the post, had nowhere to go. But when you look at some of the highlights here in the first quarter, a couple nice offensive possessions by the Mountaineers. It's just moving that ball as Beth Minnelly gets it on the scoring, the team's leading scorer yesterday. And while Sam Pakernik coming into the game, a team-high 17.6 points per game in 11 games that she started, shooting just under 30% from the land beyond the Oakville, Ontario product, has been the focal point of this Mountaineers offense. But as we've seen as the year has continued to go along, the emergence of newer players, and you know that if a team is one-dimensional offensively, that just makes it so much easier defensively in your scheming.
Right. And when you have that one person that you can build around, it is a lot easier for your team to run its plays.
And we're seeing is that right now on the flip side, I mean, Cassidy Saborin, she's got quite a game herself.
Yes, she does, and she is standing very tall at 6 foot. And in the first quarter there, you could see they were trying to throw the ball into the post and see if she could get some easy shots close.
Averaging 13.5 points per game coming into this contest. The 3-point numbers, something I don't think she
not
would.
so hot,
yeah,
but she has made her one and only 3 this game.
Yeah, it's not the stat line that you want to see normally come up on the broadcast when you're shooting that low from the land beyond, but to her credit, she has made a shot. So we look at the stats in the first quarter. Well, it's the shooting percentage that is the difference right now. Why the Mountaineers have a 6-point lead, shooting 35% from the field compared to just 20 for the visitors. Team leading score, well, there's 2 knotted at 4 apiece. As Parente's got 4, she's 1 of 3 from the field. Sam Pakernik, 100% from the field, 4 points and 3 rebounds. And I mean, leading scorer, as you mentioned, Cassie Saborn with those 3 points, but she's been doing a good job on the rebounds as well.
Oh, she has been absolutely excellent. Yeah, Cassidy Saborin.
5 rebounds to this point, and a steal right off the point. So Mountaineers a favorable start to the second quarter. Look at that hustle on the floor.
Now Champigny.
So Champigny goes to the floor there. Looks like she was going to travel. Took a couple of steps with that ball, lost it on the floor, but the possession arrow favors the Mountaineers, and they still retain it.
Now Kallur trying to look for someone, and she ends up finding Haley Davis. Pakernik passes it over to Kallura, and the elbow at the 3. Passes it over to Minnelli. 5 seconds on the shot clock now. Pakernik puts up a deep 3, can't quite hit it, hits rim.
The hustle again. Mountaineers coming up almost with the turnover there. They didn't get it, but now they're setting up in their half court with 14 on the shot clock.
Cassidy Saborin. Back to Saborin. She goes up for a layup.
So they're going to call it before the shot, the foul at the top of the post.
You can see the look of disgust on her face. She just wants the and one there. She thought she was shooting on that one.
Davis is going to be checked out after creating the foul in that situation. Zinkwich is going to check back in. Checking out of the game, Sarah McLeod, as is Saborn. And Mazuka is back in the game, as is Mercedes Ryan.
Paris, you know who you are?
Paris Post also in the game for the Cougs.
Ryan giving it over to Post, who gives it back to Ryan. Now over to Kaylee Hanush, who just airballs that 3. She got a pretty decent look. I think just rushed it a little bit.
And again, a little frustration on the defensive end there. Post just goes for the reach and trying to force the issue after an empty possession for the Cougs, and that's something that I have to adjust here in the second quarter, is getting more looks inside the paint. It's where they were successful in yesterday's contest as Didi Otong checks into the game, as is Beth Minnelly. Kalura is out right now.
Now Minnelly bringing the ball up. Passes it over to Otong, who was open from three, just decided not to shoot and play it easy.
Yeah, not her forte.
No, and this is amazing ball movement by Mohawk Mountaineers. Champigny with the nice, easy jump shot.
And we saw that early on. Those pocket right corner shots worked early on. That's how they got out to that 4-2 lead.
The Mountaineers are just setting amazing screens.
And see, this is where a little frustration happening with Brianna Baker there is that she has her head dribbling down in that situation. Pocketnick is just baiting her into that high area for that double. They're setting up that 1-2-2 full court press to try and trap you in the corner. And you have to know as a player, you need to keep your head up when you dribble and move that ball. That's the easiest way to break and press. Luckily for them, they had the possession arrow in their favor.
And they thought that Mohawk ended up having the ball, so they were running back on defense. Now Mountaineers with the defensive rebound, just pushing the ball, trying to find Otong at the block, couldn't quite get it. And Mercedes Ryan passing it down to Mazuka. Now Mercedes Ryan trying to set up a play near the top here.
3 substitutions coming by the scores table for Gary Cormier and his team.
Now Mazuka puts up a 3, and that one rims in and comes right back out. Pockernick with the rebound and bringing it up. Passes it up to Sinkowicz, who throws it into the post for Otong, who gets blocked. Now Ryan coming up, dishing it out to Mazuka, who thought about almost shooting another 3. Mercedes Ryan giving it over to Mazuka, who almost thought like shooting the 3 again.
See, now here's the issue right now is we got a foul on the floor. They're going to get bailed out. They had 4 on the shot clock and it reset to 14. So it looks like what they're playing defensively was some sort of matchup zone in that situation, because you had a couple defenders playing low, and then you had them a bit confused once the defender or the offensive player took that first step inwards. So there's got to be better defensive communication, whether they're in man, whether they're in zone, whether they're in a matchup zone. And by matchup zone, it just means the player closest to your area. That's where you want to have your central focus.
Now Mazuka having trouble finding a person to throw the ball into, finally finds Saborin, who puts up a long jump shot and can't quite hit it. Otong.
That hurts. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and
Didi Otong ran right into her teammate and Emily Chapigny, elbow right into the eye.
She seems to be in a lot of pain here.
That's a stinger.
And now we have some medical staff coming out to check out her left eye, it looks like.
So just a little bit of a collision there. They're just going to do a check to make sure she is okay.
Seems to have got rattled up a bit, but looking at her now, she seems to somewhat be okay.
Yeah, see, she's laughing about it.
She's laughing to the medical staff. I think it was just more of a little bit of pain, but a lot of surprise more than anything.
Yeah, just a bit of a kerfuffle there when they're coming off the court. Just you never like seeing, you don't want to call it a blooper, but you know, if you're a broadcasting company, that's what you'd see, those oopsie moments there where the two were colliding. As she's laughing it off, she's coming off the court. She's no worse for wear. I mean, heck, she was outside for 10, 15 minutes in the cold. I think that's a lot worse than what just happened there.
Awesome stuff there. Nice tough guy act going on there. I think she's going to be fine.
Yeah, so Davis is going to check in for her now, sporting that white headband. And she's got, again, she doesn't have a knee brace or a knee sleeve, but she's got tape around that right knee. So a little bit of stability for her. And as you can see with Pockernick, again, that stability on that right leg after the injury, playing with the brace.
And I've heard actually that some players prefer playing with the tape because the brace can be a really bulky and just really uncomfortable to play with.
Andreas with the missed jumper. So getting into your point there, so I had ACL surgery 3 years ago, and it's really a matter of you want to wear the brace initially if the knee is unstable, right?
Yeah.
But after a certain point now, I don't know Sam's case specifically, how she feels about her knee, but at a certain point, it just becomes a matter of preference, whether you trust that knee enough, what is comfortable for you. For me personally, ever since my knee has been, quote, stable enough, in my opinion, I find that, you know, the brace just adds a little too much friction when I play it. It slips too often. So me personally, I don't wear one, but I mean, it works for Sam Pockenik. She's averaging 18 a game.
And a nice little scuffle for the basketball.
Again, Zinkwich in on that one. So the hustle plays here for the Mountaineers are a major difference right now, why they've doubled up the Cougs, and they are up by 8 with 6:46 left here in the first half.
Referees having a discussion.
Yeah, so Stacey Newbiggie and Mike Curry talking things over in that situation. Just making sure they had the right call there.
Manelli throwing the ball in. Zinkowicz throws it over to Haley Davis, who banks in the nice little jump shot there.
And again, that offense, very, very fluid. In and out of their hands in 2-3 seconds there. You have the defense on its heels. You have an open shot, and there's an easy opportunity in which they convert.
Now, Mountaineers were trying to pin Mercedes Ryan, but she just had a nice little Euro step there and put up a nice running shot. She just couldn't quite make it.
And that's not the shot you want if you're Emily Andreas, but partner, I mean, you weren't here yesterday, but her Euro step is lethal. She learns how to use that left hand and finish. I mean, my goodness, every single time she's got a defender on a string as she's looking to get. Mountaineers were looking to double, but I guess it's a soft full court press.
Now, a 3 put up by Mazuka.
Third time's not the charm in that situation.
It is not. It seems like she's struggling to find her touch on her 3-point jump shot.
Beharrell by the scores table for Cormier and his squad.
Manelli drives in, puts up a nice mid-range jump shot, can't quite hit it. Offensive rebound by Haley Davis, who gives it over to Zinkowicz. Zinkowicz drives in herself, and what a power move by Zinkowicz to hit that layup.
Just splits the two defenders, has good body awareness, adjusts on the fly there, is able to hit the tough-looking layup. It doesn't look as tough on screen, but trust me, folks, that's tough. And the lead, their largest at the game at 12.
5 minutes and 20 seconds left in this second quarter as Emma Fillion goes in for the layup.
Good response on the other end. Just getting into the post, that's their bread and butter. That's what worked for them yesterday. It stops the bleeding momentarily, but they're still being doubled up by the Mountaineers.
Let's see if the Cougars can make a stop here and go on a little run.
So they've got that, setting that high screen illegally on the play. Getting called on it.
And when you're coming up and setting those screens near the top, you have to be set. You can't be moving, but it's also on the ball handler to let the screen be set before she actually drives by.
Yeah, it's a matter of just letting things develop.
It's just a communication on both parts there.
So a couple substitutions from both sides. Kalura's back into the game. Goit checks in as well for the Mountaineers.
As Saborin brings the ball up for the Cougars.
Nice little pull-up jumper.
Nice
right
little pull-up jump shot there. Alexandra Cooper from the Cougars was wide open at the 3 there. Got looked off, but maybe for the better as that she make that jump shot.
Well, this Cougs leading scorer says, I'll take my own take at this. We got to get back into this game. And Saborin, again, bread and butter. But if you're the Cougs right now offensively, I think the advantage lies in the post. If you play a little of that high-low game with Saborin and Baker, I mean, you see them out on the court right now. They are significantly taller and more built than the Mountaineers. And again, that's everything when it comes to inside positioning and knowing how to use your body.
And I think the Cougars are starting to slowly realize that it seems like no one on the Mountaineers can contest with them in the post. Mercedes Ryan bringing the ball up right now, calling her own number, and almost makes that wide open layup, steals it from behind from Kalura, goes up herself again, and still can't quite hit that layup.
So again, she's one of those players where she's shot out of a cannon anytime she has a ball. She's a little Energizer bunny anytime she's moving. But when you get to the rim for those layups, time needs to slow down mentally in those situations. But again, the Mountaineers there, they had 4 players in that press break there, and they were not communicating at all. And again, single-handedly, Mercedes Ryan, after getting that pass, blew by all the defenders. And again, they still can't figure out that Euro step.
Yeah, and sometimes I think she was really surprised about just being that open mid layup. She was probably thinking, "Oh my goodness, I am so open," and just got into her own head.
4:13 left here in the first half. 13 on the shot clock. 8-point lead for the Mountaineers after coming off a 4-point victory yesterday evening.
Saborn puts up a jump shot, misses that one, and a nice rebound there by Goit. Kalura bringing it up, pulls it back out, throws it over to Pockernick on the elbow. Nice cross-court pass over to Goit. Kalura puts up a three in the corner, hits front rim, can't quite make that one, and Mercedes Ryan comes away with it. She pulls it back out. Let's see if they can run a play here. Saborin.
What happened defensively there?
That was just a breakdown on defense. No one could just seem to find their man there.
Cassidy Saborin wide open on the left side underneath the rim there. 5 Mohawk Mountaineers watching her paint a picture and finishing.
She got the ball in the high post, turned around, realized she was open, and just said, okay, I'll take this layup.
Wow. Well, that's one way to shut us both up in that situation. Kayla Kalura with the left wing three, and the lead back up to 8.
Nothing but net on that one. Mercedes Ryan up to Baker. Cross-court pass. As Hanush tries to answer with a three of her own and can't quite make it. Offensive rebound, though. Over to Saborin, who gives it up to Ryan.
See, that's what you want. Minley is just simply outboxed right now by Baker. Baker's not calling for it, though, as the deep three is missed. But she gets the offensive rebound.
And this is something that the Mountaineers need to start capitalizing on. They are allowing way too many offensive rebounds, and they need to start boxing out their men.
Joel Villa with the timeout on the floor, calling in Kevin Duffy on cue, calls the timeout. So that last offensive possession, Beth Minley is simply just no match in the paint physically for Brianna Baker. Baker has the inside position. They don't look to her for that jacked open three, but because of the long rebound, she has the inside position to secure the board. I think that's something that Gary Cormier and his squad need to exploit as much as they can at this point, because quite simply, the size matters right now. And we've seen in those few possessions where they've got into the paint, they've had more favorable outcomes offensively, more than not, instead of just deferring to the wing three. And for Kevin Duffy and his squad, well, I mean, they're sitting with a 7-point lead right now, partner. But I mean, at no point has this been smooth sailing. Their lead as big as 12, but they don't have that killer instinct we talked about. And with 2:39 left here in the first half, I think basketball is a game of runs, right?
Right.
It's how you finish quarters, though, that's mentally going to drain a team. So if you're Kevin Duffy and your squad, you think pedal to the metal this last 2.5 minutes, right?
Right. Now, in honor of Mental Health Month, today's proceeds will be donated to the Canadian Mental Health Association. Use the hashtag Mountaineer Strong to help fight stigma and build mental awareness.
And you'll see a lot of the players on the bench sporting those My Mind Matters t-shirts, those white t-shirts in specific, as part of a school-wide campaign, and again, part of the January mental health awareness and the Bell Let's Talk campaign that's become synonymous with mental health.
Back to the game, Minelli gives it over to Otong. As Perante puts up a jump shot, misses that one. And it seems like after every single timeout, regardless of what team takes it, the Mountaineers just come out really strong with amazing ball movement.
It's just, again, it's fluidity. That's where you're, as a coach, that's where your bread and butter, your best offensive plays come out of those set opportunities, because it gets you a chance to be super, super creative. Everything's stagnant, everything's isolated versus a flowing offense. Will the press work here is a better question.
Pockernick almost got another steal there. I think that might have been her 4th of the game already.
There you go. There's the inside position we just talked about. Baker inside on Minley, and again, it's
just
like Cormier,
having her way.
Yeah, it's just like Cormier hurt us, even though he's like 3 feet from us. But drew it up to perfection, and again, the lead cut down to 5.
Yes. Otong puts up a 3. Let's see if she can extend it, but no. And the Cougars are now on a little run here. Let's see if they can bring it even closer.
There, again, once again, what do you see? Saborin just sidesteps her man. Again, inside position, bigger, stronger player. Again, too much to handle. A 4-point swing out of the timeout. The lead's down to 3.
Pokranik over to the corner. Perante thought about the 3, didn't take it, and another miss. Now the Cougars have a chance to tie the game with a 3-point shot here.
Yeah, Perante saying words I cannot repeat on the air after missing that opportunity. And she comes up with the steal the other way.
Heads it to Pokranik, who has the nice layup. Extends the lead back up to 5, and a timeout by the Cougars.
Gary Cormier is going to call that timeout. Again, they had it down to 3, back up to 5 with 1:13. But it's like what we exactly just talked about coming out of the timeout. Cormier made his adjustments. Says, you know what? We have the bigger team in the post. And it's something I talked to him about yesterday, and I don't think he feels they did enough of, quite frankly, because that's where a lot of their success has been. You open up the inside, you dominate the paint. What happens defensively? Everything collapses inside. So guess what? Your players that can shoot that deep 3 or open shots in the beyond the arc, it gives way easier opportunities than if you're having these shots contested.
Exactly. And as the Mountaineers start to slowly realize, hey, the Cougars are going in the post here, like a lot more than usual, we should send some players down there and double team in the post, which will free up Cougars shooters from 3.
Now, here's the thing for the Cougars. If they have to be aware of that double every time they get that ball in the paint, whether it's Baker, whether it's Saborin, if they're going to get that ball in the paint, they have to know as soon as they're catching that, there's most likely a double coming. So they either got to look for that player streaking right down the middle of the lane, or they got to look for that backdoor cut or wing side player that has been basically let free because defensively the commitment. But you're seeing this 1-2-2 full court press.
Yes. 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the second quarter. 25-20 for the Mohawk Mountaineers, as there is a foul being called.
So they're going to get bailed out by that. Alex Parente thought she had a clean jump ball opportunity there. But again, Cougs, best way to beat a press, move the ball. That's all. Just in and out, move the defense on their feet. They can't double you if you're moving the ball.
Oh, Saborin, let's see if she goes right to the post. And she does a nice, strong spin move. Can't quite hit that layup. Saborin just offensive rebounded her own shot twice and still couldn't make it.
Jeez. Otong on the floor now. It's like a schoolyard play game of kill the carrier out there. Bodies everywhere at this point. Mountaineers are going to look like end up. I want to see what the call is on the floor. So it's going to be the Cougs that are going to end up with this. So Otong with a couple spills here in the last couple minutes. I mean, again, Didi Otong, probably the best player defensively when it comes to matchups here for the Mountaineers, especially against Cassidy Ryan, not only because of her quickness, but her length. And that's one way you can stop a dribbler from moving east-west in their dribbling. That length as a defender forces you to drive into them versus around. So we've got a foul on the floor as well, it seems like. Nope, just a shot clock reset. So 6 to get it over.
Now Mercedes Ryan giving it to Saborin, who gives it right over Fillion, and she's definitely one of the taller players as well, and she is listed at 5'10", which is still a lot taller than most of the Mountaineers. A little bit of a breakdown by the Cougars defense there.
Pokranik, though, second chance opportunity, and this will be the last shot of the first half.
7 seconds left. Perante puts up a 3, can't quite hit it. And the ball's gonna go out of bounds with 1.4 seconds left on the clock. Cougar basketball, and now they're gonna have to go down the full length of the court in 1.4 seconds.
I hate to burst the bubble, partner. I don't think anything's gonna happen on this one.
Well,
I don't see the football toss happening.
Mercedes Ryan, and she does not get the shot off. She decides to play it safe and just go into halftime.
And, well, they're going to have to be more aggressive coming out of the half here because Gary Cormier and his team trailing by 5 heading into the break. They lost the game by 4 yesterday, but we've seen if they can get that ball into the post, they're going to cause a lot of headaches for the Mountaineer defenders. It's just a matter of finding that consistently and creating more stops defensively if you're the Cougs. For the Mountaineers, I mean, you're up at home. The cold hasn't affected you too much, and they've had their way in the paint as we see the replays here in the first half highlights. I mean, again, open opportunities is where the Mountaineers have made their living at this point, but anything contested to this point, they really haven't been able to do. If we look around the OCA, well, St. Lawrence is being up Georgian 44-22. That's in the late stages of the fourth quarter. Lambton Niagara, well, that's been postponed, and there's 2 other games this afternoon. St. Clair takes on Redeemer at 3 p.m., and Conestoga takes on Sheridan at 4. But hey, you don't need those games because guess what? On M-Links in Sport and
because we're here in Hamilton.
Yeah, we got another game coming up for you at 3 p.m. So we got second half action coming up in about 14 minutes here at the D-Bar.
Stay tuned.
And we are live back here at the D-Bar. Mountaineers lead by 5 at the start of the third quarter.
And yes, we are underway. And a very quick steal by Zinkowicz.
Good job by Pokranik on the adjustment there. Caught that ball mid-stride, adjusted to the left hand, and a good start by the Mountaineers.
Mercedes Ryan now, and the Mountaineers are continuing with this full court press.
Yeah, looking for that double, but good ball movement. Baker can't convert though. Tipped though, and Saborin's going to clean up the garbage.
And I have a feeling that this is going to continue on for this second half. The Cougars are just going to be looking for Saborin and Baker down low. Zinkowicz passing it over to Manelli, who gives it to Otung, puts up the 3 and can't hit that one. Head coach thought it was tipped, but it will be Cougars basketball.
Now that is not her forte at all, Didi Otung. I mean, statistically, if we look at the 3-point shot, she hasn't hit one according to the stat sheet all year. I guess they're trying to find her that first look, but again, Saborin trying to go in the paint there. They're going to retain possession. Didi Otong's game is under the paint or on the baseline. 3-point shot, it's not her forte. So I'm not sure if Kevin Duffy is putting her in the right position at this point, but there's a reason I'm on the mic, we're on the mic, and he's over there.
Well, you know what, also, I think it's just the head coach having confidence in his players. And, I mean, if it's open, take it. Manelli just saved the ball from the Mountaineers getting a backcourt violation. Otung goes up for a layup and gets fouled by Brianna Baker. Now Otung going to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Didi Otung, great player defensively. Offensively, still finding her stride, averaging just under 5 points per game. Shoots 27% from the field, 57% from the charity stripe, and averages 6 rebounds a game as well.
And Otung hits nothing but net on that first shot. Let's see if she can do it on the second. And she hits the back of the rim on that one. And Saborin just muscles that rebound away from Haley Davis. And almost another steal by Pokranik.
Again, so Saborin's eyes doing the same thing as the Mountaineers struggled with in the first half, telegraphing that pass to Haber-Hariel on the play. Pokranik gets fingertip on it, just not enough.
And Pokranik got 2 steals during that first half of the game, almost with her third, as Brianna Baker muscles her way into the post and gets the easy layup.
And it's just that rebound there. Long shot by Haber-Ariel on the play. Baker inside positioning, bigger player. She's got her and so far Saborin 4 points here in this third quarter.
Now Mountaineers just having some good ball movement, passing it around the outside, trying to get a good shot.
Hey, if we get to the
And Otung lands on the basketball. There is a foul.
So it's going to be
the
a
play.
push on the Cougs.
And that will be a foul on Hey Beharial.
OCA women's basketball action as Ryan, I may predict it, goes coast to coast and converts. Being brought to you by M-Link Sports and Entertainment. Greg Campbell, Steve Baxter bringing you through the action here on your Saturday afternoon amidst a snowstorm, to say the least. And if you are wondering, folks, if you're going to tune into the men's game, well, we have news as of right now that unfortunately that game will be canceled. Now, I know it's all about the safety and the players, and, you know, the buildings and that. You know what's even more of a pain? They got to come back, most likely, I would say, for a midweek game, the male squad for the Cougs to play a one-off back here at the D-Bark as part of a makeup game. When's that game? Who knows? But they know they have at least one more 8.5-hour trip.
Yeah, I was just about to say they have another 7.5 to 8.5 hour drive ahead of them to come down for one game. Continuing on, Cougars have the basketball, swing the ball around, and Saborin puts up the three, misses. Saborin again with the basketball as the Cougars get the offensive rebound, taking it in herself, and she misses that running layup. Now Mohawk bringing the ball up. Perronte going herself, going up for the layup, and just can't quite hit that one. Now Mercedes Ryan bring the ball. Now this has just turned into a very fast-paced game.
A good job by Calera standing her ground there. A little too tight a space for Ryan to operate in on that Euro step. Was thinking about it. Lost the handle midway. Luckily bounces off a Mountaineer. They'll have a second chance. And there's the convert.
Billion.
Right off that right wing. Again, it seems to be a favorable spot for both teams along that right baseline area. But again, drawn up off the inbound pass on a set play.
Mountaineers making some cuts. Perronte gives it over to Zinkowicz. Kalura gives it over to Pockernick. Pump fakes the shot and can't quite hit that layup, but that was down and then back out.
Ryan's got it now, so we'll see her and Pockernick. I want to see them go a little more one-on-one, but the bread and butter they're trying to get to. Kalura with the strip as Saborin tried to drive into the lane.
And that was a nice, strong steal right there. Mountaineers with the basketball again. Trying to give the pass down into the post, gets tipped, and that is a turnover. Cougars coming right back down.
So we've seen this twice now. As Sam Pockernick is trying to force that pass onto the wing, but she's going high. She can see that Ryan has her hands up in the air just before that pass is being made. So in basketball, I mean, this is fundamental basketball growing up.
Yeah.
If your defender's hands are high, where's that pass going? It's a bounce pass.
Yes.
Underneath. If the defender's hands are low, that's a chest pass or over the shoulder. So again, little fundamentals the Mountaineers need to work on. And that is why now a 2-point game.
Offensive rebound by Champagny, and
Mazuka's got a pocket right corner right now. Back to Ryan, they're going to slow it down, and there's that look. Saborin right by the free throw line.
And Saborin is feeling it right now. She is just putting the team on her back and trying to pull them back into this game, and they have. It is now tied 30-30 with 5 minutes left in this third quarter.
Averaging 13.5 a game and making herself showing here in the third quarter as we got a substitution, giving you some little halftime stats. Sam Pockernick leading the scoring for the Mountaineers, 6 points, 5 rebounds, while Alex Parente, 4 points, but 1 of 5 from the field. On the other end, well, it's Saborin that had 11 points and 10 boards in that first half alone. The old-fashioned double-double.
Kalura driving in, and she got hit a little bit. No foul call, and the Cougars, and Kalura is down on the floor, looking to be in a little bit of pain.
Looks like she banged up that knee as she hit the floor there, so that'll give us a chance to look at some more stats at the half and where a couple of the differences are. Well, the Mountaineers, a 6-point lead heading into that second quarter. They outscored the Cougs 14-8 in that first quarter. Well, The Sioux actually won the second quarter by a single digit, trailing by 5 coming into this third quarter, but we're knotted now at 30 apiece. And here's some of the key differences as well. Points off turnovers. We talk about turnovers in any game and how that is a key thing. Well,
it's a very key thing.
Well, the Sioux only 3 points off turnovers compared to the Mountaineers, who have 10 in this contest. So they're capitalizing on the turnovers from the visiting squad. And then the other thing is that their bench is beginning to score as well. So the Sioux only 3 points off the bench. It's not their strong forte, I would say, to say the least. But the Mountaineers, they have 11 points off the bench. So you always talk about second contributors, people coming off the bench, keeping the offense flowing, not stagnant. You want your starters to do the work, but you also don't want to lose that lead or play as close to a game with your bench. And while the Mountaineers have done that so far.
Yeah, and your starters just can't do everything all game. So again, yes, you have to give some confidence into your bench play and see if you can get some nice bench play.
And we're back to action on the court right now as the Cougs have the offense. Ryan's got the ball.
Now the Cougars back into swinging the ball around, and it is stripped. Goit with the steal there, passing it over to Perante. And Haley Davis called for that travel there, getting a little bit too excited after that pump fake.
Yeah, so she gets her defender moving a little, uses that sweep motion with the hands, but she forgot to take that first step with the dribble.
Brianna Baker now.
Fundamentals sound like a broken record, but hey, that's why we're tied at 30 here with 4 minutes left in the third.
Now Saborin bring the ball up, and she passes it off to Mizuka. Alexandra Cooper. And a big 3 put up by Brianna Baker, and it hits the backboard first and comes straight back out. Goit puts up a long jump shot, can't hit that one. Offensive rebound kicked right back out to Haley Davis, who can't hit that shot. Goes out of bounds. Cougar basketball.
So looking to take their first lead in quite some time. They've made their way back into this contest, trailing by as much as 12 at one point. We're gonna, well, looked like Gary Cormier was calling for a timeout, hence the horn, mistimed there by the scores table. It's gonna be ignored. But they have an opportunity to take the lead here. I wonder how that would affect the psyche of the Mountaineers. Tipped on that play as well. Davis with the partial tip on that play. Saborin didn't get that ball high enough on that 3-point shot, so the Mountaineers stand tall.
Pockernick bring the ball up, coming fast, throws it to Perante. Long cross-court pass to Goit. And that is a nice 3-point shot by Alex Perante, taking her time on that one.
Great shot. Again, open opportunity. Defender a couple feet back. She says, hey, why not? Only played in 2 games so far, averaging 5 points a game, though. Good response. Around the world we go, and finally goes into the hole.
What a pass by Ryan. Pockernick passing it down to the baseline to Haley Davis, who makes that jump shot.
So no defensive communication there. Again, just slips in the pocket left corner there. Defender's eyes all on the ball carrier, slips in behind, open shot.
And Saborin crossing everybody on the way up the court and hits the very nice right-handed layup on the left side.
So anytime the Mountaineers are trying to seize a little momentum, the Cougs are saying, hey, not yet. Perante with a needless foul, we'll say, after the missed opportunity on the offensive end.
I think that is just frustration there on the missed layup there.
So we got a timeout on the floor called by head official Stacey Newbigging. And the Mountaineers lead by 1 with 2:11 left here in the third. A 5-point lead, partner, heading into the third quarter here. And while we've seen time and time again, the Cougs just seem to have an answer.
Now, Sioux is looking to come back with their first win of the season after the loss against Mohawk yesterday again. And I mean, it's a very close game right now. They can easily get their first win of the season. Let's see if they can come out of this timeout just striking with everything they have.
Now, for Mohawk, we talk about, you always want to say home is a comforting place. Well,
Right.
today, yes, because it's cold outside, folks. We were out before the game. Again, if you're just tuning in right now, this game was delayed by a couple of minutes because the fact that someone pulled the fire alarm, and because it's around the campus-wide fire alarm instead of this building-specific, well, everyone had to be emptied out. The players were warming up, got stopped mid-warm-up, and well, they had to go out in their shorts and
not
their
only
shoes.
just the players and the people watching the game, but the entire campus.
Yeah, us poor broadcasters and the rest of the crew had to go out there as well.
Well, you know what? At least we weren't in shorts outside like some of the people.
Now the Mountaineers trying to improve to 3-4 at home. They are 0-5 on the road this year. So we got a foul on the floor.
I think that's from Didi Otung.
Yeah, so it's going to be a push-off.
And Cougars remain with the basketball on the baseline.
So shot clock will reset because of the foul by Otong in that situation.
Now, Saburin looking for the long pass, can't quite make it, and she gets called for a double dribble there.
Yeah, so she's keeping her eyes up court, trying to find that outlet pass right down the middle to beat the press because they're trapping them to the sideline right now. But again, just not aware of the time and space and a needless turnover. You can't have those if you haven't won a game.
Right. Otung gives it to the baseline, and she tries to pass it in to Manelli, who can't quite keep the handle on it, but it's tipped and stays Mountaineers basketball.
It's the same thing. Manelli there just looking for eyes down, looking towards the basket. That's if a receiver has caught the ball and looking upfield to score that touchdown. That's what she does there, not fully paying attention in that situation. Just loses sight of the ball for that 1 second there. Now they got an issue with the shot clock. Should be no reset, so Mountaineers are going to have 4 seconds to get a basket or a shot opportunity off.
Now they run the play over to Pockernick, over to Didi Otung. Gets the decent look, but gets blocked, and that will be a shot clock violation because the ball did not touch the rim.
So we're going to get a timeout on the floor called by Gary Cormier. So what happens on that play there? They move the ball very well in that situation. So they get it to Pockernick, which is your first look, obviously.
Right.
Swings it completely across the court to Otong. And because of the time awareness, Otong does the smart thing, and the defender in that situation, Filion, thinks that she's going to shoot it because there's not enough time. But Otong realizes she has a half a second to slip underneath.
Right.
The issue is, once she makes that slip underneath, she doesn't extend on her shot in that situation. Or for Filion, who, is a towering player on the court at 6'3", she doesn't even have to extend her arm to block that shot. She just kind of raises it casually as if it's a shoulder raise,
Yes.
because Otong doesn't extend at the point of the apex for that layup.
Right, and she is not the tallest woman in the world as it is, so just being able to extend on that would just do wonders.
A 1-point lead right now for the Mountaineers. 1:47 left here in the third quarter. Greg Campbell, Steve Baxter bringing you through the play-by-play in color here at the D-Bark on a chilly snowstorm of a Saturday. Winter has hit us, folks, and well, the shooting performances hasn't been cold here. The action has been hot since the start. Rapid pace by both teams.
Yes, now Saburin finding Cooper. And Hey Beharial tries to put up a wild layup, but that one also gets tipped. So it's going to remain Cougars basketball. And Hey Beharial will be throwing the ball in, probably looking for Saburin in the post. But they end up passing to Filion, who puts up a three and can't quite hit that open shot. But Mercedes tries to save the ball. Nobody there, so it's going to go right out of bounds. Otung will be throwing the ball in for the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers shooting 31% in the first half there, just 2% above their season average, averaging 51 points per game. And, well, they kind of look like they're on pace to that. A low-scoring game, to say the least, after a 64-60 victory last night.
And Sienkiewicz goes in for the layup, but she passes it off to Pockernick, who just cannot hit that dish-off layup. So Mercedes bringing the ball up, passes it over to Cooper, and she throws it in the post to Saborin, who makes a strong post move, gets the offensive rebound, rips it away from Otong, puts up the shot, and she gets fouled, going to the line for 2.
She gets lucky on that play, though, because, again, she secures a rebound, but she brings that ball low, and that just gives an opportunity for them to rip at the ball. Luckily, they rip her arm before they rip the ball, so she'll head to the line for 2. But, again, fundamentals, you want to keep that ball up high if you're a Cougar in that situation, especially if you're a big. She's going to miss the first of 2 there. The team's leading scorer, as we've mentioned, averaging just under 14 points per game, shoots 67% from the line and 33% from the field in 36.5 minutes of action a game.
Saborin misses her second one as well. And I think Saborin is slowly starting to realize throughout the game that, hey, you know what? When I go in for the rebound, I think I can get almost every single one.
I think it's, I know I'm going to get it,
yeah.
and I know I have a chance to score here.
Defensive or offensive.
And that's the killer instinct that Kevin Duffy says his squad needs, as they are going to force a turnover there. And you're seeing that more from the Cougs at this point than the Mountaineers.
Now Pockernick takes the deep 3, and that just rims out. Otong with the offensive rebound. Tries to kick it out to Manelli, who can't save it to Pockernick. So that's a backcourt violation.
So they had Manelli wide open on that play. Beth Manelli was open on the left wing. Instead, they tried to kick that ball into the inside, and by the time that happened, well, it's just an unfortunate a series of unfortunate events. Good book, good series, by the way, growing up. I remember that. But that's what happened in that sequence there for the offensive possession for the Mountaineers. So 3-second difference, 4 will call it between the shot clock and game clock. Wow. Houston Rockets offense, 7 seconds or less, and the Mountaineers are going to be afforded a break, and the last shot, you would hope, if you're Kevin Duffy.
5 seconds. Oh, and what a shot at the buzzer by Perante.
If you couldn't hear that when that shot was going off, just before, what's happened the last 2 quarters is the Mountaineers have had the last chance opportunity. You're hearing Kevin Duffy from the sidelines yell, "Do it." Now's the time. Fire. So he's giving the commands from the bench over there. And while they're not soldiers, but I mean his comrades have fired. And Perante with the buzzer beater there. The lead is extended back up to 3. So a 2-point difference between the second half beginning and the end of the third quarter. And well, that killer instinct we talked about at the top of the broadcast, has to come through if you're Kevin Duffy and his squad, or else you can see the Sioux driving home very happy with their first win of the year. Now, you lose this game, the bus drive, just a little more different to say the least. But you see Saborin on the inside, and that's where they're making.
And she is just having her way down there.
And between her and Baker, again, it's the bread and butter. It's the inside looks, as you see a layup there as well by Ryan. But it's the inside look so far that has made the difference. And quite frankly, I think why they've been able to stay in this game at this point. And defensively, I mean, there's only so much that the Mountaineers can do in this situation. I mean, if they really want to sell out defensively and collapse and double, well, then they're going to live and die by the shooting percentage of the Cougs in this situation. And they only have shot 24% coming into the second half. So, I mean, good numbers defensively. It's a matter of whether schematically you are willing to give up those open looks in order to collapse and sell out defensively inside the paint.
Right.
So both teams just a couple seconds away from the fourth quarter here. And we're going to see what is going to happen here. We got 10 minutes to figure it all out. Do they walk away with their first win of the year, the Sioux? Or do the Mountaineers sweep the back-to-back home contests?
Well, they're definitely playing like it, especially in this third quarter. I think they're just sick of losing and just want to walk out of here with a win.
Put on a 2-win streak, their longest of the year.
It's already a crappy enough snowstorm outside. So if you can drive home with at least some type of happiness, that's a win. Mountaineers basketball.
Some leading stats for you heading into the fourth. Parente leads all Mountaineers with 9 points and 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Pockernick, 8 points, 5 rebounds. On the flip side, though, as the basket is made, the flip side, Saborin, heck of a game. 8 of 20 from the field so far, 17 points and 14 rebounds.
And she's still got a way to go. Mercedes Ryan goes up for the layup, misses, and a little bit frustrated, so careless foul there.
Yeah, so just too strong. Again, too strong when she goes to finish. Time is not slowing down for her when she has these opportunities. And well, your first instinct as a player when you miss a shot and hustle back is a classic reach.
Yeah.
And that's what she got called for there. Again, just a ticky-tack foul that doesn't matter right now, but in the grand scheme of things, will it down the line? We're about to find out.
Pockernick with the ball at the top. Passes it down to Haley Davis, who puts it back up top to Manelli. 5 seconds left on the shot clock as Parente gets inside position. And the Cougars have no option but to foul there.
I mean, the option was there. There was no awareness defensively because, again, we could see that a mile away, this tic-tac-toe that was about to happen. The defender on the outside does not collapse inside, doesn't have the positioning, and while she had an opportunity to set this up real early on and force the ball across the pond, instead they get the inside look, and Parente heads to the line for 2. Ryan's going to get called for the violation there. You can see her tiptoeing that rope there, that line, just before the shot, lost her balance just as the shot was going.
And there was a double lane violation by the Mountaineers, and because of that, it's just going to become Cougars basketball.
So we're going to tee it up to the possession arrow in that situation. They consider it a jump ball because it's not like the NBA where you see actual tips.
Right.
Possession arrow favors the Cougs, and, well, they get another opportunity to chip back into the deficit.
Saborin getting doubled at the top. An awesome defense there by the Mountaineers. 2 players there being able to grab on and try to muscle it away from Saborin.
That's inexcusable. If you're a Coug fan, if you're Gary Cormier, you're upset about that situation because that trap is high. Well, theoretically, as a defense, if you can get that right by the midline, again, in the top corner, that's what you want as a turnover the other way. But again, she's got to know every time she touches the ball right now, and she's at least 20 feet out from the basket at this point.
And she can see the Mountaineers coming up to double, but that's when you have to make the decision, I need to pass the ball away right now.
Yeah, as soon as she picks up that dribble, she's got to know where that ball is going. So see right here, she's got to find. That's how you stop a double from coming.
Mercedes Ryan trying to look into the post for Brianna Baker. Can't quite get in there. So the Mountaineers coming in trying to fast break.
Oh, that's a thank you. She got away with one at the midcourt there on the double dribble. Gets called on the second one.
Just lost a little bit of control of the dribble there, dribbling it all the way up to her head.
Dribbling like a tight kid first learning how to play basketball. You bounce it as high as you can, high as you can.
Cougar basketball, Saborin giving the ball up early this time. Baker tried to hand the ball back off to Mercedes and couldn't quite get there. It got tipped.
So Baker's favoring that right ankle right now, hollering for a substitution as Filion's going to check back into the game. Got tangled up with Ryan and Zinkwich on that play.
So substitution being made. Baker coming out for Filion. Manelli over to Pockernick. Cross-court pass over to Parente. Zinkwich. Pockernick pump fakes the 3, tries to do the Euro step layup, and she drains that one. What a layup by Pockernick.
Gives Mercedes Ryan a taste of her own medicine on that one. The Euro step, the follow through and explain the defenders, and the tough layup.
We have seen the Euro step a lot this game, and it seems like these ladies have been watching a lot of James Harden's game.
The ball's tipped out of bounds. So you're looking at that high-low again. So Saborin's going to get that ball right in the free throw line extended. They have Filion cutting to the net, trying to get that dip underneath. Tipped off a Mountaineer, though. She's got to throw that ball higher if she wants to get to Filion, not right in the passing lane.
And a nice, very nice look there for Filion, but just can't quite hit that shot. Pockernick Perante. Over to Davis. Davis takes that shot and can't hit the free throw jump shot. Cross-court pass over to Zinkowicz. She drives baseline, tries to do the reverse layup, can't hit it. Cougars rebound the ball, but there is a foul, a pushing foul on the Mountaineers.
Pockernick's going to get called for the reach over on that play, and that is not the shot you want, especially on a reverse layup. You're driving baseline. You could see the double teams coming in that situation. 3 Cougs around her when it's said and done. It's quite simply, I know it's difficult. She's either got to kick that along the baseline or try and find someone. I mean, she's not world-class acrobatic gymnast here. So, I mean, she's got to get rid of that ball quicker than not.
And a very nice jump shot there by Haley Hanush. She looked very comfortable hitting that one. Now Mountaineers trying to come down quick. Pockernick with the cross-course pass, baseline, and what a three-point shot by Haley Davis, answering right away down at the other end.
They're going to call it a long 2 on that one. Partner foot just inside the line there.
As Mazuka tries to answer, but she can't hit that jump shot. Mountaineers coming down fast again. And Perante driving in, trying to look for that blocking call. Doesn't get it, but there is a foul call on Pockernick.
Pockernick's going to actually be Goit that heads to the line. What happens in that sequence there? Perante thinks she's getting some sort of call on the court. Most likely she wants it in her favor. Instead, no whistle is blown in that situation, so you have a couple players looking around like, what's happening?
Right.
Well, Jamie Goy says, you know what, I guess you guys are asleep this afternoon. It's cold weather. You want to curl up, take a nap. She says, I'm going to put this to bed. I'm going to try and get to the basket. While she gets rewarded, she heads to the line.
And she can't hit that second one. And Mercedes tries to save it, saves it to the wrong team, so Pockernick takes a nice looking jump shot, but can't hit that one. And the Mountaineers, it seems like they're having trouble hitting the wide open shots, but making the tough ones.
That's 4 on 3. That's transition basketball in the half court, even off a turnover in their own end. Pockernick's got to find someone inside.
And that's 2 offensive rebounds in a row. And Saborin just muscling her way into the post, getting the rebound and putting it back up for 2 points.
Already had a double-double coming into the third quarter here. Could she put up 20-20? It's not inconceivable with 6:05 left here in the fourth.
Pockernick over to Goit. Thought about the 3, doesn't take it. And now a 3-point shot put up by Perante, but can't hit that. So we have Mercedes Ryan getting the rebound and dribbling the ball down the court. Over to Hay Burrell. Can't hit that shot, but another offensive rebound by the Cougars. Kaylee Hanush.
So Hanush with a couple of key baskets here in the fourth quarter. We've seen that in yesterday's contest as well. Comes in only averaging 4 points per game, shoots 34% from the field. But again, the thing is, Gary Corbet's squad is getting a little bit lucky as well. Yes, they've clawed back into the lead, but it's because they're getting this inside positioning inside the box because of their size. But I don't think they should be settling for those 3-point shots. What's happening in the last couple of sequences is that they've settled, but they've been fortunate in the fact that they have size on the inside and they've been able to locate that ball on the rebounds, kind of fell into their bread baskets, to say the least. And it's just been an easy dip and drive after that.
Right. And it seems like the Mountaineers' offense, it hasn't been bad. They've been getting the looks. They just haven't been making their shots. And the Cougars have been capitalizing on that. It was a 9 or 10-point game 3 possessions ago, and now it's only 4 points with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in this game.
Well, Gary Cormier has done a tremendous job of limiting this scoring punch of Beth Minnelly and Sam Pockernick, who only had a combined 10 points coming into the fourth quarter here. I mean, yesterday Minnelly went off for nearly 20. Pockernick with a quiet 16 by her standards, considering she's the team lead scorer at, 17.6 points per game. So they've done a good job defensively of keying in on the key players, and they said, you know what, beat us with the rest of your lineup.
Goit puts up a 3, can't hit it. Offensive rebound, gets dished out to Minnelli, who drains that jump shot. Lead goes back up to 6 for the Mountaineers.
I stand corrected.
Mercedes Ryan looking over to Saborin in the post. And again, it is easy for Saborin.
just quite has no chance to that opportunity. She can't even lay a body into Saborin. She's just basically moving her steadily along, and she just says, okay, now I want to take my turn.
And she's got that look on her face saying, give me the ball. I know what to do with it.
And Baker's going to be checking back into the game momentarily as well. So that high-low look for it. From
And Mercedes Ryan with the nice offensive rebound. Nice looking fast break play there. Couldn't quite capitalize, but there is a foul call on the Mountaineers for a push.
So Chapinier is going to get called for it. Again, they're looking for that two-on-one. Just took a little too long for that to develop. They get bailed out by the foul there. But that's a quick, easy basket you want to convert if you're Gary Cormier and his squad. But they do get the ball underneath the net if it's a Constellation, and they get Baker and Saborin in the same lineup now. Beautiful.
And Mercedes Ryan still just getting way too excited when she gets open on the block.
Announcer's jinx on that one. Perfectly executed off the inbounds there. A really predictable inbound, to say the least, if you've ever played basketball. Yet she can't convert, partner, like you said. Things are not slowing down for her.
Now let's see Saborin in the post. And she gets doubled right away, so she gives it to Brianna Baker. And now she makes the nice layup down low.
And now we have a 2-point game, partner, with just over 4 left here in the fourth.
Manelli giving it over to Pockernick, who's over at the 3. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Let's see if the Mountaineers can capitalize on this. 3 put up by Zinkowicz. She can't hit that one. Offensive rebound.
So there's a complete error on the shot clock there. So what happens is that Zinkowicz takes that straightaway 3, and somehow Baker allows Davis to get inside position on that play, which shouldn't be happening at all. Regardless of the fact she ends up with the ball, because it hits the rim, there should have been a shot clock reset back to 14. Cue why the stoppage in this game, and cue the second opportunity coming for the Mountaineers.
8 seconds. Pockernick trying to drive the lane, gets stopped. Ball tipped out of bounds by Hay Burial. Mountaineers basketball.
Got 5 seconds. Let's see what they have drawn up here. You practice this all the time during the week.
And what a shot by Zinkowicz.
Being called bank. Apparently it's open here, though, on your Saturday afternoon.
But you know what? She did start running away from the basket before it went in, so I think she felt pretty confident about that one.
A trail foul on the play. So we talked about earlier on whether that ticky-tack foul by Mercedes Ryan would have any effect on the outcome of this game. Well, right now the Cougs have 4 team fouls compared to 3 for the Mountaineers, meaning that next foul they commit, even if it's in their backcourt of the Mountaineers, means the Mountaineers heading straight to the charity stripe, and you don't want those kind of free possessions deep down the stretch in a tight game.
And the Cougars trying to throw a cross-court inbounds pass, can't make it, and they turn that over.
They got to be aggressive here offensively in this set. They can't settle and defer and wait a couple seconds for things to develop.
Pockernick puts up a deep 3. Can't make that one. Saborin trying to get that rebound. It ends up being the Mountaineers basketball. Dish over. A wide open jump shot for Zinkowicz, and she just drills that one. It is a 6-point game. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this basketball. And that was just a careless cross-court pass by Hay Behariel.
There you go, Sam Pockernick.
And that just cost the Cougars 2 points. Pockernick with a nice layup there.
It's a 4-point swing. This game was within striking distance. The lead back up to 8. It might be too late for the Cougs.
Now let's see if Saborin can put the team on her back.
So here's what happens in the last two offensive possessions. The first one, the deep 3 from the right side from Pockernick. Very stagnant, very slow developing, not the shot they want. What happens when Zinkowicz gets the ball? Well, their tic-tac-toe ball is moving, have defenders way out of position, open shots. That's why they've broken this game open.
Pockernick trying to get that defensive rebound, gets pushed.
So see, there you go. that foul from Mercedes Ryan earlier on, that frustration foul, here's where it comes into effect, folks. So the worst potential spot you want to have a foul occur, which is in the opponent's own backcourt, and they're literally right by the end line there. And guess what? It travels the length of the court to the other end, and Sam Pockernick has a chance to ice this game.
And now the Mountaineers are in bonus. So now, from now on, every single foul that the Cougars commit will result in Mountaineers shooting free throws. So they're going to have to be careful about the fouls for the rest of the game. Pockernick drilled the second one. Substitution being made now as Fillion comes in for Brianna Baker. Timeout being called from the Cougars.
So now a 10-point deficit.
54 to 44 for the Mohawk Mountaineers. And like you were just saying, a couple possessions ago, maybe a minute and a half ago, this was just a 4-point game within the reach of the Cougars, and now it just seems like it's starting to slip away a little bit.
Well, the killer instinct that we've wanted to see this entire game finally showed up for Kevin Duffy and his squad. The thing is, this Mountaineers squad has had the ability whenever they want to put their pedal to the metal. But the thing is, they've been settling in their offensive possessions. When we've seen this offense moving, the ball moving, they're getting the defenders of the Cougs' feet moving cross-court back and forth, and guess what? You start to lose awareness as a defender after a certain point.
Right.
And so what's happening, you saw Zinkwich with the open shot there, then you saw the miscue and the Pockernick steal and the wide open layup. So it's the little things, and it's something that Kevin Duffy has talked to me about every single game this year before I ask him the keys to the game. And he always talks about, at some point or another, the simple things. And that is what makes the difference between winning and losing a game when it comes down to tight, narrow margins.
Just capitalizing on the basics is very key to winning games.
Even if there's a miraculous shot, there could be a miraculous shot that ends up happening that wins you a game. That doesn't happen without miscues along the way on the fundamentals that would never have put your team in that situation to begin with.
Ball back into play now. Saporin bringing the ball up. Dishes it off to Fillion. Loose ball there. Everyone trying hard to get it. Cougars end up getting the basketball, and there will be a blocking call.
Hence the 3 whistles.
That's going to be a foul on Haley Davis, and that will result in 2 free throws for Fillion.
That one, you know, Parente hitting the floor like it's an inflatable bouncy castle, and she's hitting around there. But Fillion does end up with it. They got to be careful again. They're choreographing where they're moving the ball. They want to get that to the wing initially. They got to look off defenders with their eyes and make zip passes, not soft passes, because again, Mountaineers have had their hands on a couple opportunities.
Fillion hits the first, misses the second, so it's Mountaineers basketball. Pockernick bring the ball up, looking for the screen on the right side. Drives in, dishes it back out to Parente. Zinkwich, 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Pockernick passes it over to Parente, drives baseline, tries to find Zinkwich, but can't quite get it to her. The ball gets intercepted. It will be Cougars basketball.
So same thing the other way now.
Both teams are now in bonus, and fouls are going to result in free throws.
It's not where you want to foul, in the team's own backcourt of your opponent. So what happens, again, moves to the other end. The most important thing here, well, the clock stops. But you gotta convert.
There's only a minute and a half left in this game, and the Mountaineers are up by 9, but this, you still do not want to give up free throws. It is not, the game is not over. And you can easily come back from what is now an 8-point lead.
Expect a full court press here. They gotta keep it in front of them though. See, it's a soft press, so I'm not sure what that accomplishes right now, because they're going to run the full 24 if you're smart and well. They're going to get the ball back with almost just a minute left.
And that's what it seems like. Swinging the ball, cutting through, and swinging the ball back.
It's just a time-killing drill right now.
Yep. Now, that's a nice baseline look from Haley Davis.
I had another 10 seconds to kill there. I don't think they should have taken that shot. I don't care how open that is. There you go.
Oh, and what a shot by Hanush.
A deep 2, though, so foot on the line in that situation. So we'll see what happens here. 6-point lead, 1:03 left. Again, they get that ball, bleed the clock out. It's a 2-possession game. 2 possessions. You can come up empty on both these trips, bleed the clock. They have to hit a pair of 3 balls. They theoretically want to get in the game, back in the game that way. Don't force anything up.
And that is not a foul that the Cougars want to give up. I know you're trying to play hard defense, but you can't just step in front of the ball handler like that.
You know what hurts the most is that fact that there's 5 seconds left in the shot clock in that situation. They got the defensive stop they wanted. They were doing the right thing, and then right at the last second, they try to go all in, and well, they get burned.
That was exactly the defense they were looking for. But yeah, 5 seconds left in the shot clock. That is not when you want to commit a foul.
Just let it play out. They already have a tough shot coming up. Instead, you got a 2-point swing there, lead back to 8, and quite frankly, I think time's run out.
Mercedes Ryan trying to go up for the layup, gets deflected. A 3 put up by Behariel and misses that. Now there's a jump ball underneath the net, and it is going to stay Cougar basketball.
Again, off the play here, they're going to look for someone in the pocket corner for a 3. They got to dump that in immediately. Every shot's got to be within like 4 seconds at this point.
Ball thrown into Hanush. Gives it to Saborin. 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and there will be a foul called on the Mountaineers. Saborin will be going to the line for 2 shots.
I know the clock stops in that situation, but I think it takes way too long to develop. You had a good 6-7 seconds run off before the foul was called in that situation. Yes, the clock stops, but if you're Saborin crew, you know what I do in this situation is that no matter, okay, so she makes the first. I intentionally miss from this point forward. I miss, I look for my second chance opportunity. I go for 2 or 3 points instead of a single here.
Even if she makes the second one, there's only 23 seconds left. They're going to have to foul. They're going to have to instantly foul, which puts the Mountaineers at the free throw line, and all you can do at this point is hope that they miss both free throws.
And now it becomes probably, if you were watching this game, if it was like an NBA or NCAA game, you know when there's like the last 2 minutes takes like 45 minutes, it feels like. Not quite to the same extent.
Not to the same extent,
no,
but you know what?
This did start happening at like 2.5 minutes.
But this could easily turn into another 5 minutes or so.
It becomes a foul game at this point.
Yeah.
And so, interesting, Davis is unable to take the free throw. So, Kalura's going to check into this game, because Davis is unable to do so.
And even Kalura looked like she re-injured her knee a little bit before, pounding on the ground a little bit, but you know what? She's toughing it out. She's back out on the court, and she seems to be looking all right.
So here's a nugget of information for you guys. So if a player at the free throw line cannot take their free throws, the only players eligible to take those free throws in that situation is anyone that is not on the court, aka on the bench. Hence why Calero is in this contest.
Offensive rebound. A bunch of offensive rebounds by the Cougars, and they eventually get the bucket. It is a 6-point game, 7 seconds left, and I don't think the Cougars are going to foul. This ball game is over. Mountaineers end up pulling it out and giving the Cougars, sadly, their 12th loss of the season. The score 57-51 for the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers improved to 3-4 at home with the win. They improved to 3-9 on the year. That is good for a 25-point winning percentage. Not ideal, but a 2-0 home sweep here at the hands of the Cougs. And I mean, it's exactly what you want if you're Kevin Duffy, is, you know, get business done. That's all it comes down to. They are the better team in this situation. Yes, at times they flustered, to say the least, But the thing is, Kevin Duffy and his squad came into this game only one game up on the Cougs coming in.
Right.
And now they are at 3-9. They clear that hurdle, and they start moving forward a little more. And what we saw more of in this game, yes, Beth Minley was great on Friday night. Sam Pokranick was herself as always. But we're seeing the emergence of multiple players start to have a key role in this team offensively and defensively. And the best part is that the killer instinct for the Mountaineers finally came through at the end.
Yeah, and this, you know what? It's still their third win of the season, but this gives them a lot of motivation going forward. They are looking like a team that really wants to win now.
And the thing is, if you haven't been paying attention, before the start of this game, it was delayed in the fact that there was a snowstorm that came through, and the players actually had to go out in their shorts, in their jumpers, everything had to go out in the snow, stand outside for 10, 15 minutes. But hey, the cold didn't affect them, and the Mountaineers come up with the win. They win 64-60 yesterday, and they walk away with another comfortable victory here on your Saturday evening. Next time you'll see us on MLink Sports and Entertainment for myself, Greg Campbell, and Steve Baxter. It'll be all the way on February the 2nd when the Mountaineers will host St. Clair. Make sure you drive safe, stay inside, and stay warm this weekend.